Welcome to Zelda Universe TV, it's Zelda time! Welcome to This Week in Zelda News. I'm your host, Bastian. I'm the news editor for the front page of Zelda Universe, and so I'll be hosting this as a weekly segment here on Zelda Universe TV. But let's just take a quick moment to check out my awesome Zelda shirt. So the biggest story this week comes from a rumor, which originated over on 4chan, an image which showed two Zelda games. One that said Legend of Zelda Fire Prophecy in Japanese, and the other that said Legend of Zelda Ice Prophecy in Japanese, and then the Nintendo 3DS logo. That led people to think, hey, maybe this might be like the Oracle games, where we get two games at the same time that somehow interlink with each other. That'd be a cool idea. Unfortunately, it was disproven just a day later. Glitterberry, the fan translator, what she did is she took a look at that image and noticed right off the bat that there were some glaring errors that any native Japanese speaker would not have made. So that showed that, of course, those images were fake. And I mean, when you think about it, Fire Prophecy, Ice Prophecy, those titles aren't exactly as evocative as Nintendo would usually come up with, nor was the image, really. I mean, the image was pretty bland as far as Zelda title logos go. Our next story is that Nintendo was at the Consumer Electronics Show just recently. They were showing off that Zelda HD experience, as they're calling it. But again, to reiterate, this is not a game. This is not going to be anything like what Zelda HD or Zelda Wii U is going to be like. It's just an experience to just kind of show you how you would interact with the Wii U controller in a Zelda game, and what HD Zelda graphics of a Twilight Princess style would look like. They may go in a completely different direction. We may get Toon Link again. We may get pixelated Link again. Who knows? Again, no new info about that Zelda Wii U experience, but we do have a new video that kind of shows off how the Wii U controller works with that. And then our next story comes from the man himself, Miyamoto, basically talking about Zelda's origins. And we've kind of, for years, have heard the basic version of the story, which is that Zelda got her name from Zelda Fitzgerald, who was American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife. He goes into more specifics in Hyrule Historia, where he talks about how the PR guy, also the planner, was trying to convince him to maybe do like a storybook with the game. So then when the game releases, they would have this storybook that would come out with it that would sort of have more details about the game that, due to the limitations, they couldn't really fit into an 8-bit game. Miyamoto didn't really like that idea, but it did start getting him thinking. He was already planning on calling it The Legend of, but he couldn't really think of what the last word should be. So talking with this PR guy, this planner guy, he was mentioning to Miyamoto that he thought that F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, Zelda, had a nice name, and she was known as a timeless beauty, and that he felt that in that storybook they should make a point of saying that Zelda is a timeless beauty. So Miyamoto didn't like the storybook idea, but he did like the sound of that name, so that's where we get Zelda from. And then this next bit of Zelda news is for the 21 and over crowd, which is that a company went ahead and created a Zelda beer pong table. So if you're over 21 and you want to play some beer pong, now you've got a Zelda beer pong table to do that at. Also, we did a story that sort of covered this story that was done on the board games of Zelda. These were games that were released back in the 80s. One released in North America, one released in Japan, completely different. And not to date myself, but I actually had the Legend of Zelda board game when I was a kid, and it was pretty awesome. It was pretty simplistic. It was your typical board game, but with Zelda aspects. What I did as a kid, however, is I decided it would be a great idea to cut it up into pieces and use those pieces to sort of merge with my Hero Quest board game and create a Hero Quest / Zelda hybrid that I tried to play with my friend. Yeah, probably not the best idea because now they're worth quite a few dollars on eBay. Whoops. Not to mention I still wish I had that. I'd love to play that right now. Also, we had a news story about those infamous CDI games. They're very often maligned for being the sort of the joke of the Zelda franchise. I'm sure you're already aware of what they are, but a brief synopsis is basically Nintendo licensed out its characters to Philips, who then themselves had teams create a Mario game and 3 Zelda-style games. They were all terrible. From my own experience, the controls, the cutscenes, it's just awful, but they did get one thing right. Apparently, in Hyrule Historia, we see an early character design for Zelda, the Princess Zelda, and they ended up using that exact same drawing in the cover of Zelda, the Zelda game, where she's the sole character, and it's called the Wand of Gamelon. So they got one thing right. We have to give them that. So if you're a fan of Nintendo's or The Legend of Zelda's over on Facebook, you'll notice that they've recently begun this contest, a giveaway thing, and we'll receive a replica of the Master Sword and the Hylian Shield. So definitely go ahead and check out the link below and get submitted to that. And speaking of giveaways, we will be having one of our own coming up soon on the Zelda Universe main website. Keep checking back. We left a little hint about it today in one of the news posts, so be sure to read through those and see if you can find that hint so you'll know what to look for in the future and how to get involved with that. As for now, though, it's a secret to everybody. Well, that about wraps us up for this week. Be sure to check back next week for more Zelda news. This has been This Week in Zelda News. That was terrible. I don't think I actually want to put that in the video.